All right. And we are hot Wednesday, January 15th at 7:52 a.m. Going to be a pretty quick one today. Lot like yesterday. Although yesterday afternoon was interesting. I mean, we're all over the place. There seems to be a lot of just indecision. Even with the likes of, you see like things going on in like natural gas where you have this big run up, this big drawdown, and then another big run up today. Yeah, things are all over the place. So I think the story of the morning, or at least is XRP finally broke above 250. And you would think that, this was, next coming of like buying Apple at $1. I mean, it's up 25 cents. I mean, I know it's up $1. But I mean, realistically, I mean, there's other things. There's other things out there that have done like so much better than this. Like I don't know. I don't really get it. Maybe I just don't get it. I don't get it. But anyway, it's up. I don't own any. It's one of the few I do not. Deal with. So that's it, really. I don't really want to say much more of it because there's 100,000 assholes out there who are already beating the table on it and been beating the table on it. I don't need another one. Yeah. So let me just blow this one up. All right, and I was painting some charts last night. I was bored, and when I get, when I'm bored, I start painting charts, which that's kind of scary, because that definitely means I'm bored. Because I mean, look, when I paint charts, folks, I don't do it as a way to forecast. I don't do it as a way to even really make a decision on whether I do something or not. I think it's more of just confirmation of what I've already thought of in the way I look at painting charts. And I quite honestly think it's a waste of time if that's what you do. And I don't want to diss anybody, but I'm going to diss anybody who sits there and gets online and paints charts in front of people for 2 hours a day. I mean, it's probably the most meaningless thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, if you're gonna paint charts and not have it translate into, all right, here's what I see on the chart, and then here's a trade. Like, all right, that's valuable. But if I'm just gonna sit here and paint charts and say, and never say like, here, look, go buy these puts, buy the stock, short the stock, do this. I don't know what value it is. Anyway, so I was painting charts, and I just thought it was amazing that natural gas seems to be running in this channel pretty consistently outside of this one little area back here in October. Yeah. And it continues to break out. And I think what's interesting and why I'm even bringing it up is there's a likely chance that if and when it does break out of here, that this top of this channel then becomes support. And until then, I don't really think you're going to see natural gas really like explode. I'm not saying it's not going to continue to go up. I just don't think you're going to see it When I think it'll really explode is if it could get out above here and stay up here. You could see it's tried 1, 2, 3, 4 times. This is the hourly chart. And again, is there a trade there? I don't know. As I mentioned, natural gas to me is not the most interesting of products, although it looks really cool when you talk about it and it makes the headlines. It's been making the headlines every day. Natural gas, right? I mean, so when it makes the headlines, it just kind of seeds it in everyone's head that maybe something's going on with it. And there is, not that there isn't. But is there a trade there? I don't know. I mean, here is, I feel like I kind of, what the heck happened to this? Why is that messed up? Why is that like cut off down there? What's the story with that? Anywho, these tasty charts really are a mess. Anyway, and that's the wrong chart. That's why. Why is that not natural gas? What is going on? What's going on with these chats? Is it hung? No, it's something's messed up with the charts. I have no idea. I have no idea. These tasty charts are just, now I know why they went to TradingView. I was looking to see what all right, so anyway, the IV rank is still relatively high, I mean, for natural gas, but I don't know. I kind of feel like I already slayed this dragon on this run, and I feel like if I do something else, I'm going to get run over. But with volatility being so high, and it actually kind of like teetering up here on kind of a breakout, I don't know. I'm kind of contemplating doing something else here. Now, we did an iron condor. So right now, just to like put it in perspective, they're expecting a 58-cent move. That's a big move in natural gas. So the low of that, based on the February contract, which is the one they're trading now, is $2.80 all the way up to $4. Now, if I were able to get, I'm going to do that and then do this. I don't know what's going on with this. Why is that? It looks broken. It's broken. It's a Broxton. It's broken. So something's messed up with their charts. So if I were going to do anything, I would likely, let's just kind of flip back, and I hate to do this to you. And then let's get into, and let's do a 4-hour chart on natural gas. And just kind of pull back here and then just get rid of a little noise on the chart here for you. No doubt about it, natural gas is in some kind of breakout short term, right? And if I go in and do this on a daily, natural gas has been way higher than this, especially back, during the pandemic of 2020. We were way higher, but as far as short term, natural gas continuing to be very strong. But where's the top? Now I'm going to have to go into the daily. So if I'm looking for a top here, it's looking a little scary because look, when we tanked in natural gas, this did not take long for us to tank. I mean, this is literally like not even a month or two, and we just completely they've ripped the floor out underneath natural gas, and the longer this kind of move to the upside goes on, makes me believe that possibly there's another one of these like floor rippers coming. And so I have to go all the way back to 2018 to kind of get some kind of like top where it failed, because I can't really use anything in here, right? This one's 560. This is all like 2021 pandemic kind of blah, 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 right? So, I mean, almost wish I could like lop a lot of this off, because I don't know how much of this is really like the natural trading activity of natural gas or just some kind of an anomaly that was going on at the time. And I don't want to like to think back like, oh, what was going on back? Like, I don't know. I'm old. I don't want to deal with that. I'm sure something was going on. Whoa. I'm sure something was going on. What the hell was that? I'm sure something was going on in natural gas. Anyway, make long story short, I was kind of looking back at this and 490. And so what I'm trying to do here, folks, is I'm trying to find a spot where I could possibly sell some calls up here and do it in a way where I'm not going to get my face ripped off. And I'm kind of looking for and that says 450, and I don't know if 450. Now, it's kind of scary because where is I don't see one standard deviation here. Oh, there it is. One standard deviation is at 485. So I kind of like that. Plus the fact there is some open interest up here at 475 out here in February, right? So there's some liquidity out here. You gotta look at liquidity if you're going to trade natural gas futures options. You got to look at liquidity. You have to, folks. Don't take that lightly. I've had that problem before where I've got in illiquid strikes, especially on the sell side. So whichever one you're selling, make sure there's liquidity there. All right. And so what I like here, then the fact that this is one standard deviation all the way up here at 485, it's about a 14 delta too, which is, kind of in the wheelhouse, right? So when we're selling, we like to be above that 20 delta. At least I do. I like to be 20 and below. So I like that delta to be, which gives you better probability of profit. And so I would go to the 480 here. I would go right inside. And you can see the margins really aren't horrible in natural gas. Now, I would never do anything naked in here because natural gas is just this nasty beast. But you can see I'm selling a call here and I'm not really using a lot of buying power at all. In fact, I'm using less buying power selling calls than I would if I were to actually just trade the natural gas contract. Because I think if I traded the natural gas contract, I want to say the margin on that is I think it's like 10K. If I'm not mistaken. I don't know, to be honest. I have not traded natural gas futures in a long time. Let's just see. I was close to 87K, 8,700 bucks to do a natural gas contract. So it's cheaper. So let that be a lesson here. If you want to trade natural gas, do the options because it's cheaper from a margin perspective. So I would sell the 48. I like that 48, 49. I'm only using 122 bucks. And then on the downside, I think I would go right around this standard deviation here. There's definitely, but the one standard deviation on the downside is a 24 delta. So I don't know if I really like that. I might go down to 280 because that's a 14 delta, right? So I'm at a 14 delta up here. And so I'd like to be equidistant in delta on both sides so that this is truly a delta neutral trade. So I'm going to do the 280, 270. Oops, I did it reverse. All right. All right, and I like this trade. Now, 75% probability of profit. Here is the curve. And so you see what I'm kind of getting at. Like I don't want to beat a dead horse, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, look, I was looking at the charts, and here I'm trying to translate that. I'm trying to get this to show up on here, and it does not work. It does not work. Why does this not work? What the frick is going on here? What is the story here? Is it too wide? It's too wide, I think. That's the problem. It's too wide. It's way too wide. I'm thinning. I think that's what the problem is. It's way, way too wide to fit it. It won't fit it on the chart. Oh, wait, there it comes. There it goes. There it goes. Just barely gets in there. I can't do it anymore. So that's how wide it is. So there it is there, and you can't really go by this. This whole thing is messed up. Let me see if I do this. There we go. Right, so it's the 280, 270 puts, and the 480, 490 calls. All right. You're going to use about $300 worth of buying power. Max loss is 790. Now, the reason the max loss is 790 has to do with what happens on expiration on this. So if you were to hold this till expiration and one of these sides were breached and it would actually fall in the middle of there, that would be your max loss. So that's what that is calculating. And then more importantly, 75% pop on this one. And I really like this trade. 75% probability of profit. Main point and goal here is delta completely neutral. And 0.02 is about as neutral as you get. Never really get it truly to, especially on a, iron condor strangle. It's very difficult to get absolute zero. And then, another kind of hidden gem here and kind of playing off this number, this high IV rank, is this theta here that we're going to get some burn because we have about 41 days on this. And the beauty of this trade is I don't really need, natural gas can continue to rip up another, buck almost. And I have time and space basically in this trade that if we even get a volatility collapse and then in the next week, this will come in. And this is very similar to the trade I did 2 weeks ago in natural gas. Again, nice small trade, not going to bankrupt you. And you're trading a big contract. I mean, to me, this is the only way to trade natural gas. And so that's the trade in natural gas there for me. So basically it's 480. So we can come up here and this is where I got it from. It's amazing, right? That one standard deviation is at 480. Here it is on the chart. And on the downside, it was basically 280, which is right around where the point of control is right here on this daily chart. So again, these numbers usually don't come up like mysteriously, like they just don't appear. They usually come about for reasons, and there's usually, some mathematical point to it. So anyway, now I can get rid of this line because now it's starting to bother. It's starting to bother me that it's there. It's bothering me because now I don't need it anymore. And that's why I'm actually going to delete it and move on because I know everybody's trading natural gas options now, right? Right. Doubt it. I doubt it. And then what I do like to do is I like to go down here to shapes. Where's shapes? Was it this one? No. Geometric shapes. And I like to go and do a rectangle. And I like to come down here. So I'm doing the 280. And I like to come up, and we're doing 480 and do this and then do this. So, and then here, and in the coordinates, we do 290 or 280, 280, 280, 280. And then on the upside, we're going to do 480. All right. Okay, and so now we kind of have our box where I can now actually keep track. And right now, as long as we kind of stay in here, you're going to be able to sell and get real fancy with this, right? We'd be able to sell. Actually, I need to do this reversed. You can actually, I have to figure out how to do this because that's a pain in the ass. I'm trying to use this. It's awful. But basically, you can sell options up above here or below here, and I think you're good. And so that's really the moral of that story. So then when we go to the hourly, I can see when we're trading if I'm in the zone or not. So anyway, wow, that was a long one. But anyway, you see how it translated into a trade. So that's what you got to be doing. If you're going to be painting charts, you need to actually take that information and then transpose it into a trade. And so there's natural gas, and that's all I'm going to talk about that for now. Because all the other commodities right now really just aren't really cutting it for me. Crude oil, even though it's actually been on quite a tear, I just have not felt it, so I've been staying away from it. Bonds, who knows with bonds? I'm just kind of sick of it. Look, I'm long bonds. I'm getting my ass kicked, probably like everybody else in bonds, and I just really don't have anything. I'm not going to sit here and oh, we found the bottom. Like, how many times? I don't know how many times I moved this bottom. I'm going to put a new one in here just for my own mental masturbation, I guess. Because that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put that in there and then do this. I mean, none of it's worked out, but that's my mental masturbation going on right now with bonds. I have really no, I'm long and that's it. And I'm not going to chase the downside anymore. Then I'm going to chase the upside. So that's the story there. I don't really trade RBOB. I have it up there as just, I don't even know why I have it up there. I don't even look at it. I don't even really give a shit. If I want to know what RBOB is, I go get my gas tank filled. Then I have an idea around what RBOB's doing. So anyway, here's the ES. I marked this up too, and we're in a zone too in the ES. And to me, it's actually a pretty interesting spot because just like with natural gas, I'm saying to myself, well, so how do I actually take this and translate this into a trade? So we are like smack dab in the middle, and you can see this support goes all the way back to October of last year. So I think that's a pretty significant area, in my opinion. It's about 57.30. And then on the upside is obviously our all-time greatly highs, which is about 61.40, whatever, 61.50, whatever. It is up there at 61 and change. So now taking this, now how do I actually translate this into a trade into, now I could do one of two things. I can absolutely do ES futures options if I want. There's a lot of choices. Here's all the expirations. They're extremely liquid. There's no issue with that. And if you have a problem, I always stick to the full-blown expiries. I don't mess around with the weeklies unless I'm going to do like something cute sometime, and very rarely do I do that. But there's times when I use them. They have their usefulness, no question about it. So if we are going to do ES futures, we're going to need to go into the March expiry. So the turnoff here, doing something in here, is the fact that the IV rank, although I believe it may be elevated, if this is still not working, this still is not working. Something's going on with those. That sucks. $283 move. Volatility only 19. Actually, volatility in general in that at that point 19%. IV ranked 27.8. Not anything I would get overly excited about in doing something. However, it's always worth, and I haven't looked at this one, the natural gas one I did last night. I haven't even looked at this one. I mean, so first, right out of the gate, one standard deviation sitting right at 14 delta, which is like beautiful in the wheelhouse. I like that 5,400 strike. You can see we looked at that chart and we pretty much have a bottom at like 57. So I would choose that strike. And then to the upside, it looks like it's 6,400 on the upside. And that is well above anywhere where we've been. And if I were to use that and do that strangle, that one actually brings me to a 74. Now, I'm not going to use no $7,600 worth of buying power to put this on. I'm going to do an iron condor, but I may actually do something a little different. Instead of doing just a 5 wide here, I might do a 10 depending on what I'll bring in. Yeah, this one is not shaping up to be very, well, I don't know. Let's see. This one may not shape up to be too bad. I think the 10 wide is going to be, the 10 wide is going to be the way to go here. So you're going to do the 60, whatever it is, 10 wide, it's 25 wide up top. And they're 25 on the bottom. Okay. And so this is going to be where you're going to want to land on this one. And why is this so messed up today? I don't know. It's because this is so wide, it just can't fit it. So 530, I don't know if I'm crazy about this. You can't get more delta neutral than this. And then, obviously, again, the unhidden gem here is the fact that you're getting a theta almost 5. You are using a little bit of buying power on this one and that, but that's just the nature of the product. Nothing you can really do there. You're using about $1,000 in buying power. There it goes. So yeah, I mean, you could, this again is another one. Now let me take another look. The other option is to use the SPY. But issue with both of these is going to be the fact that the IV rank is not high. Now, if you use the SPY, you can go into February and we'll look at the same delta. We won't even use one, and the one standard deviation's right at 14. Look at that, what an amazing thing. And for this, I would actually, since it's the SPY, I would go down to 550. I would do a 550, 545. I'm going to see how this one, I think we're going to be able to squeak out a buck on this one. And then the 14 delta is a 612. So I don't know if I really like that. I would do the 6. Yeah, I would do the 615. I would do the 615, 620 here. Yeah, I was about right. So you're going to get about a buck. Now, I know it seems kind of stiff that you're doing, and you're going to use $400 to basically make a buck, not even 95 cents. But you have a 67% probability of profit in here. And this one looks much nicer on this. Oh, that's more like, you know what? I thought something looked messed up. So that's why I should look at comments. I did it reversed. It's 620. Let's go back on this. There we go. All right, now we're cooking. Now we go into analyze our curve, and that should look better now. There we go. And let's see if it calculates. All right, so that, yeah, it's still, I thought so. I was going to say, yeah, there we go. There we go. And it's still not working, but you get the idea, right? 545. Now, to me, this is a nice trade if you can do it for 95 cents. You're doing it in February. You only get 30. You got 37 days, and look, I think you're fairly good on the downside. I think you're good on the upside, and then you have 40 days or so, and I kind of like this one for trade in the ES here, because we're stuck, and I think we're going to remain stuck, and I just don't think there's going to be really anything in the cards unless barring some other unforeseen incident. I think we remain. Whoa, screen's gone. I think we remain in this area. So there you go. There's kind of a swing trade on the ES using the SPY. Right. Okay. So as far as trades today, the only thing I'm looking at is S2 and R2. R2 looks ripe to me today, which is 59.27. I am actually going to mark that. I think that is a good short today. 57.28. I also think R2 is actually very, very good as well. That's 58.34. But in both cases, that is a pretty big move. Right? If we get up that high and we get another, well, it's not really as hard. It seems easier for us to go and get 58.28 right now than it does to hit 58.34, just from a intraday type of point. So those are the spots I'm looking at. That's what I like today. Right, so right here and right here. And that's really that on the ES. So from here, let's kind of bounce into big tech. Always like to run down what's going on in big tech. And as you can see, I've done a lot of painting. Micron's another one. I have it up on the list here. Actually, what I'd like to do is let's go from best performers to MSTR. I've actually had this up for a while, and we have literally bounced in between this, and this is just like literally like a game of Pong right now, just going do. Do we bust out? I don't know. I don't trade it. I think the problem with MSTR, if we bring it up here, I don't really know how to trade this because IV rank stinks. Like I don't like to really trade something where there's no volatility in it. And if I did do something, I don't think I can really do what I want to do, because what I'd want to do is do some kind of negative delta strangle. I can't, because the margins in here are absolutely insane. And the way I would do it is I would kind of do about a 30, which is a 30 delta call in here, which brings me down to about the 440. So I would sell that. But you could see the margins in here are just absolutely just bonkers, man. Bonkers. They're bonkers. And as you get up over, let's see, where do they start? Is it over 380? All the strikes are 10 wide. So that's a problem too. So now I can't really do like a traditional type of even covered situation. And so I don't know what to do. Then the other side of it is maybe I do a put calendar. Because, like, look, I'm actually, I'm wearing my on my sleeve a little bit here. I'm a little bearish in here. Not long term, but to March, I'm a little bearish in here. I have to admit, I don't think that this move, especially in MSTR, like their only game is buying Bitcoin. I just, at some point, that the rubber meets the road with that. It's just like anything else. If that's the only game, if you're the only game in town, it's just not good. But I do like, let's see, the 400 strike looks interesting to me because there's about 1,000 contracts there. So let's take a look at the 400 put spread. So I buy the 400 in March. I sell the 400 in February. And it's going to run me about $1,000 to do that. You're short about 6 shares. I'm not crazy about that. I guess what I'm not the most crazy about here is, again, I don't want to use $1,400 to get short here. And the reason I would even do a calendar spread, because I like the idea of being able to be flexible. And because people ask me, like, why do you do a calendar spread? They never seem to work. And it's so the point of a calendar spread never really is, it's as crazy as it may sound, it's never really to make money at that time. When you do a calendar spread, whether it's a bull calendar spread or bear calendar spread, what you're looking to do is you have a bias. So in our case, it's short. But you're not confident that your bias is going to come true in the time frame that you have picked out. And so you do the calendar spread so you have the flexibility on this short option that's the shorter duration. You could either roll it up or roll it down based on where the underlying has gone. And if you're wrong, you have an easier path to right the ship doing a calendar spread than you do if I just did a put spread. So I did a put spread in, like, say, March, and just did a 400, 395. I've got to be right. Like, it's got to go down or that's it. I'm done. But with the calendar spread, it could pretty much go nowhere. And we did just break out. So I guess the numbers came out. Let's just pivot real quick. The numbers came out. And, oh, yeah. And we blew, look at that. We blew right through R2 like it wasn't even there. That's awesome, man. I love it. I wasn't taking that trade anyway during the numbers. But we broke out 59.27. And so, look, if you know, this is off the table now. We blew through here because of economic data and because of the news. We did not blow through here organically like during the trading day. So this is off the table now. You don't want to take that. Even if we break down below this and we rally back up to that, it's gone. The only number you'd be looking at right now if you're playing pivots is 59.57. And I am going to mark that because it is a point of interest right now because we have not broken that. And it's the last pivot left for the day, right? There's R4 and R5, which, don't get calculated on the Fibonacci's. I don't really, if we're up that much, there's no way I'm shorting those at that point. And so we're getting a pretty nice rally here today. So this is actually pretty good. Let's see if it lasts. That's really the question. I don't know. Let's look at the numbers real quick. And I just didn't mean to pivot, but hey, the numbers are out. Core inflation came in. It came in right at forecast. It looks like. So no surprises, and it looks like month over month is actually up a little bit, but year over year, it's in line. So everything pretty much in line, I think, and I think that's what the market was looking for, is inflation not to be out of hand. And we are just like, they are just blowing up shorts right now. Well, nobody was short. So this even, I don't even think this isn't even short covering. You know, there's nobody been short. Everybody's long. And so everybody eats today. We're up 70 handles. So there you have it. So have a nice day. So anyway, MSTR, back to this. So that's why I do calendar spread, is so I have flexibility. That's it. So I don't think there's going to be anything to do in here today, honestly. And then basically you had JP Morgan come out. I don't know where their numbers were. It looks like it's only up about $2. This is the trade I did. That's going to come in pretty nicely. And that was the only one I had done, was the JP Morgan trade, the 215, 220, and looks like it's going to come right in the wheelhouse. Going to get a volatility collapse, and all things are good. I didn't bother with the others. And then there's no others that are coming out in the next day or so that I have any interest in. They all kind of suck. So I'm going to pass on that. So anyway, with MSTR, that's why I wouldn't do, I'm all over the place, MSTR. But let's look real quick at a traditional, let's just look at a calendar or a put spread. And let's say I went to March, and let's say I did the 400, and they're $10 wide. So I'm going to spend $700, but you can see here, like literally, it has to go down. Like I have no flexibility at all with this trade. Now I could try and be cute, and I can roll it up and over if it does decide to reverse. You know, if I have the time, maybe I can do that, but it's not as efficient. So anyway, that's the story there. And then looking at other big tech, most of everything else is going to probably have a good day today because, look, we just had the numbers, and that basically just blew everything out of the water. Meta had a bad day. That's rallying. AMD, that's up. That's rallying. NVIDIA, that's rallying. Even the sloth Intel is rallying. Netflix, that looks like that's everything. Everything's green across the board. So anyway, I'm done. I have nothing to say after that because what do you want to hear from me? Everybody eats today. And I have no other trades. So sorry about that, but that's it. That's the truth. And anyway, you got a couple good trades out of me, right? We got natural gas. We got the ES, which I think you're going to want to adjust that now a little bit, right, based on this move. But I still think both